This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
All right.
19th of September, 2020. My name is Corey Winfield. Marty Liston is joining me.
Hey there.
Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast. I think I'm doing that backwards now. I think I was supposed to do like, welcome to, and then.
Is there a way you're supposed to do it?
I think so. I don't know. I'll have to check the professionalism book on podcasting.
Right.
Because I'm sure there is one.
Yep. I've been freshening up on that.
Yeah. Try to do everything wrong, according to some people. But you know what? I'm just a dude, man. Just kidding. Thank you for listening, though, for sure. Today was a really weird one for me. It seems like I start that every show with that, too. I gotta...
Mix it up a little bit?
Yeah. Because we're not doing accents.
Oh, no, please. I'm not doing it.
Can we just do little accents tonight, just for the show, just a little bit?
Just because you took a cat nap doesn't mean that everybody has that energy.
True. But no. So, let's start with last night. Last night I had to give a guy a ride. I didn't have to give a guy a ride. I gave a guy a ride. Mm-hmm. He showed up where I was at, and he had maybe a little over a month of sobriety. And then some things happened, and he found himself not in sobriety anymore, which I don't judge him. It's hard learning to live this new life. When you're in a safe place, things are great, and you're out in the real world and things come at you, and you're not as prepared sometimes as you thought you would be. And like we talked about that just the other night. Mm-hmm. And for him, he wasn't sure he needed a ride or wanted a ride. And I just said, well, what happens if you get pulled over? I go to jail. I'm like, well, I'm offering you a ride, man. And first he turned it down. No, I'm good. I don't want you to go out of your way and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's no problem. I offered.
Famous last words.
Mm-hmm. And about 10 minutes later, he comes back and he's like, I will take you up on that ride, man. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And he said to me that, and this was good. And these are the little things that I hope he can put together out of this. Like they say, you can learn from each relapse. And he said, I need to learn to accept help more. When people offer to help, I need to learn how to accept that. I was like, yeah, probably do. And, I just gave him some encouragement and told him, hey, just don't stop trying to quit. Don't stop until you reach your goal of, sobriety. And it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be a week, it could be a day at a time, like whatever he wants the end game to be. But he did say something that really hit home to me, and I remember thinking about it when I had my last drink, and it was like, this isn't as good as my brain told me it was going to be. And he said that same thing. He's like, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing great, and then, I decided to use again, and I don't feel as good as I thought it was going to feel. And maybe that's because he had some time. I mean, there's many factors for this, but maybe because he had some time in sobriety, and he had fun, and he realized that he could have fun, like real, genuine, actual fun. Not the fun of, I'm going to just drink and seclude myself, or use and seclude, just isolate myself. And no, he was actually making himself happy by having fun. So I think that he got that natural high of, whoa, like, this is great. And then, boom, tried to use that, and it was just, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't how I remembered it. And those are a couple of things that he can really take and learn from. I know, like, I was in the same shoes, before, and I learned from them, and, hopefully that that could be his last one. And, you know, pray for him. I do. And, you know, wish him the best of luck. But, yeah, there's no reason that he should have drove. First of all, other people.
Right.
You know, you got to keep them safe. And, you know, if he did get pulled over and he would go to jail, jail's not going to help him, you know, with what he has going on in his head. And he just needs to talk to people. And he's got some demons. We all do. And he's fighting with them. But, you know, I wish him the best of luck. And hopefully he's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did mess with him, though. I had to. He's like every gas station we would pass, he'd be like, wait, oh, is that my friend? Wait, hold on, I think that's my friend. I'm like, bro, that's not your friends, man. Well, I think so, and I lost my phone. And he just was freaking out. Some people probably were like, oh, I know what he was doing then. And so on our way, I'm taking some back roads because that's kind of where he lived. I mean, not on purpose, but just back roads. And probably about 5-10 minutes into our trip, this old, mean, nasty old possum, he come running out the wood. He come running right through underneath my car. And I hit him. Real good. And
Did it
I
make
hit him real good.
make those noises?
Mm-hmm, I did. And right when I did it, you know, my brights were on, and he was like, oh no. And I am the worst at hitting stuff. I hit stuff all the time. I don't know how to not hit stuff. Like when I try not to hit stuff, I hit it with my tire. Like, so I just closed my eyes and just heard the.
You didn't hear it make those noises.
I did too. And
You were driving down a road.
Yeah, and it was dark. One lane road. And here come that old crazy old possum come running right out under my car. So anyway, so I hit him. And he's like, oh, man, no. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, that possum had to die tonight. All because you went out and got high, man. And he started like really flipping out. And then I told him the story. I was like, you know what really messed up, man? I was like, if we would have hit the Bigfoot that was chasing it, you know? And he's like, there's a Bigfoot. And you've never seen Bigfoot before, man? Yeah, he hides. He's everywhere, bro. Like, he's flipping out and freaking out. And then I started telling the story of the old possum and how he had lived his whole entire life, you know, taking care of his family and
Mama possum and baby possums.
Yep. And then that his whole life was going to end that moment. Like the moment that little possum was born. Little baby possum. Little ugly, cute thing. He was destined. Like his clock was counting down the minute he was born for the day that dude got high and I had to drive him home.
That's terrible.
He says something like, every time I get high, man, somebody hits a possum. Possums die, man.
Were you trying to put things in perspective or what?
Nah, I was just messing with him. And then I saw him today. He came back to get his car, and I was like, oh, what? Too many possums out there for you still today? You going to go drive around, hit some more? And he was like, oh, man, I hope I don't, you know. I know.
How's he doing today?
How's he doing today?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, I mean, good as can be, probably. I didn't really get into like how he was feeling. I just had to throw one more punch of the possum at him. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, regret, guilt, you know, he feels probably ashamed of himself. And, you know, this natural comes along with it. And, you know, just feel it. You know why you're feeling it. Why are you feeling it? Well, because you let yourself down. Mm-hmm. You know, and a week ago, if you'd asked him, hey, man, think you're going to relapse the next week? He'd have been like, no, like things are going great. Why would I do that? Just, that's how they happen.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but he did say some good things. And, you know, I hope that, for possums out there everywhere that he can pull it together. And
For the sake of the possums, don't pick up.
For the whole family of possums. Yeah, he can just get it together a little bit. I mean, Jesus, we need possums, man, for something. Not sure. Maybe we don't need them. Man, I had him good, too.
That's sad.
I hate him real good. He ran right underneath my car. Yeah, but then today, too, I was thinking, this is going to freak you out a little bit. Because I might get a little bit more into the story than I ever really wanted to. You've heard me mention going to California for treatment and the whole sexual addiction group that we had to go to. Mm-hmm. And they told us all addiction was the same. And when I got there, I thought, oh, I'm a drinker. I'm not like those dirty people who use, drugs and heroin and all that. It really opened my eyes. That's when I really started to realize, man, addiction is addiction. And, it's just what form are you using? It doesn't really matter if it's heroin, if it's meth, if it's alcohol, if it's cake, if it's ice cream, if it's weed, pills. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. We're running for something. And they threw in sex addiction too, and sure, okay. Until I went to the group, and here's the thing. I think that there's probably, and I don't know, like I'm not that familiar with sex addiction, but you mentioned sex addiction to a guy, and I'm like, oh man, I'd love to date a woman who's a sex addict. I don't know. I don't really know if you would, and I don't know. Like it's such a weird topic. The more that I was thinking about it today and talking to people, and I was talking to a gentleman who was a sex addict. That's what he said. He said he was. But anyway, back to California real quick. When I was in there, I heard these stories about this dude. Well, not about this dude. This guy was telling the story about what he would like to do to puppies. And I was like, oh, like, dude, like that's not even like how, but if you want to even take that back a step further, he never said why. Like he could have been abused as a child. I mean, there's something that's not right in the brain, and I don't know if that qualifies as addiction. Definitely it's a mental health issue. It was going over and over in my brain, like not that, but I mean just that kind of thing. Is that the same thing as me with alcohol? I don't know, but I was talking to the guy who said he was a sex addict, and he was telling a story, and he's like, yeah, and then I did, this and that, and then 4 months later, and then I relapsed. And I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute. Like, you had sex. Like, that's your relapse. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, masturbation, was a relapse. And I was like, what? And I was having a real hard time with it, because I was like, we're put on this planet to recreate and to procreate, maybe is what I was looking for there. But I don't know. That's what we're made to breed, like that's why God made it feel good, because otherwise we wouldn't do it. Maybe we would, I don't know. But I was just having such a hard time trying to figure that out. Like, so when I go on a relapse, I end up in the hospital, like my liver's shut down, like before, like there's some consequences to that. But like, if you masturbate, you relapse. And then, but you have the same shame, like you still feel like shamed and guilt. And I said, well, but you're supposed to have sex, man. He's like, well, there's people that don't ever. I'm like, BS.
There's got to be more to that.
What do you mean?
There's got to be like his therapist, some whatever modality, whatever they're following.
No, he said that they teach you to have more of a closer relationship with the person you're having sex with.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that realm of
love,
addiction.
sex. Or just
No.